Welcome back to the mountains. For this episode, please enjoy a conversation with DeAndre Wilson of the Keep Rolling campaign. Hey,
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Cool, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Well, DeAndre, thank you for being here.
Man, Matt, thank you for remembering me and having me on your show. I appreciate it. I know we've talked about this for quite some time. So I just, thanks again for remembering me.
Oh, of course. So, for the audience members who don't know, the Keep on Rolling campaign is so you roll around a 230-pound tractor tire around
That's correct.
Evansville, Indiana, and
Yeah,
on the side of it, it reads "Cancer sucks."
correct.
So you do that for exercise, for cancer awareness. So tell us, when did you start doing this?
So, and one point is also community conversation. Those are my three core objectives. So you got two of them. I want to throw the third one in there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, but I started rolling the tire officially. Now it's been 2 years since I've been rolling the tire. Now, I started rolling it last year, back in 2019.
Okay.
When I started rolling the tire, I did it at night for fear of not being able to roll it, which I couldn't do. I had to learn.
Okay.
I also wanted to be alone with the tire. I wanted to learn, the process of it. How did my dad do this? He was dying. He had 2 forms of cancer,
Mm.
and he was still able to move it. So I wanted to learn the physics behind it. I also didn't have the muscle at the time to maneuver the tire. So I did it at night for a while. I'd say for about maybe 4 months before I really got the hang of it. If you've seen videos of me trying to turn this thing, I have to maneuver my body kind of outward. It's like turning the Titanic. It's massive. Trying to turn 230 is quite a workout. So this is
Right.
going on year 2 of rolling the tire. It's been a success. But yeah, it's been quite a venture.
That's great. How successful has it been?
From a marketing and PR perspective, awesome. From a community awareness, awesome.
Yeah.
From my own personal benefits, it's been awesome. And this was going to be the first year I was going to start doing campaigns, because the objective here is to host 5 campaigns a year. I'll select either a family that needs extra financial assistance because they're dealing with cancer, or I'll select the nonprofit at random and I'll do a campaign for them. For one whole month is dedicated to whoever I select, and those funds that are raised, I raise them for that nonprofit. So I was going to start that for the first time this year, but with everyone losing their jobs and being, really strict with their money, I decided not to.
Right.
I decided to kind of go a different direction. But really, it's been successful. I've been in magazines, I've been in newspapers, podcasts left and right, on TV. I kind of went viral, and it's a big deal here in
Oh yeah.
Evansville, Indiana, because it's a small town. So I had 100,000 views. I kind of consider that viral for
Yeah.
where
I
I
would say
live
that's just
at
like,
my
yeah.
standards. Yeah. I know if you're in like LA or Atlanta, a million, but it's a big deal here in
Right.
Evansville. So yeah, it's been successful so far.
Awesome. What other challenges have there been, especially recently?
Well, the current challenge. There's 2 that I'm trying to overcome. The first is um, trying to find a marketing company. I've been kind of toying with the idea about hiring a company that can help me really get the message out of what I'm trying to put out there. Because with the Keep Rolling campaign, we can go any direction. Keep rolling
Right.
can fit in with life. Keep going, never stop. We got that message. we have fitness and cancer awareness and community conversation. I mean, the persistence. I mean, we can talk about all of those things and how they tie in. So I'm trying to find a reliable marketing and kind of and like advertising company that can help me really explain those points.
Hmm.
I'm also another setback has been the documentary that I was
Yes.
filming. Um, that is a process of itself, but because what's going on in the world, we put it on pause.
Mm.
But we started back up little bits at time. We want to be respectful of everyone that we're bringing to the table.
Right.
Here recently, we shot the intro to the documentary, which was cool. We got that done. That was last week, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact, and we're gonna edit that. Take some time to get that going. We'll take some time to work on probably about 3 trailers. I'll put out there in the world soon, but we're just taking it easy at this point.
Mm. What more can you tell us about the documentary? How's it being produced? Who are you working with?
Local director, his name is well, his real name is Joshua. We call him Murphy though. Shout out to him. I'm sure he'll listen. But the message that we're trying to get across in the documentary is the importance of health, men's
Mm.
health, especially within the Black community. Um, I've grown up, and I know other African American males can speak this, even women. We tend to neglect going to the doctor and checking on our bodies, males, period. I've talked
Right.
to any type of male you can think of, and we all have said the same thing. But it's really an issue in my community. But we need to go to the doctor, all males, period, no matter the race. We all need to go to the doctor. We tend to neglect that. But the crazy thing is, we'll take our doctor or we'll take our cars in to be checked out, but not our bodies. And we have to
Wow.
respect our temple, because
Yes.
if we don't and we treat it poorly, well, they won't be prepared to fight illnesses, and our immune system won't be as strong as it should. So that's one of the points in the documentary, is to encourage males to go to the doctor, period. Another message is entrepreneurship. I want people to be able to take away that, um, during a hard time, whatever the case may be, control your own economy in some form or fashion.
Right.
That's why I figured with the Keep Rolling campaign, I can, raise money for said nonprofit or family, and then be able to pay myself a very little bit of that. And I've gotten into some issues with that, because there's individuals who I've talked to at, like, small business development centers and things of that nature, who when I share my business model with, who have said, well, you should be taking more money than what you are. And I'm like, I
Really?
disagree with that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the objective here is to help someone. I'm not trying to have a big fancy house and 5 cars. I'm only 28. I'm not there yet.
Hmm.
I just need to be able to pay myself a little bit from what I raise, so I can pay my car insurance, buy my $5 coffee, and be fine with that. I don't need to take,
Right.
half or 30%. Um, I'm fine with 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. So
So
there's been some challenges, but I'm getting over them.
yeah, and so you have the documentary that you're working on. Um, what other plans do you have to expand this in the future?
So one thing I'm getting ready to work on is getting my personal group training certificate, so I can,
Okay.
yeah. One of the goals I have is to be able to get a group of people, no more than 6. And what we'll do is we'll take the tire out, and I'll train people on fitness and team building exercises,
Mm.
as well as, talk about your strengths and weaknesses as a group, uh, while we're training and being fit. And I'll let the group decide, hey, how far do you want to go for a small fee? Because both Keep Rolling campaign is an LLC and a nonprofit, so I have to figure out, how to draw in some income. But for a small fee, I'll let a group decide, you want to go 5 miles, 7 miles, what do you think today? And we'll go. And on that journey, we'll talk about team building exercises. So that is a goal that I'm trying to put in place now. I don't need a certificate to do that, but it just makes me look more professional as I approach corporate
Right.
with this idea. So that's what I'm going to be working on here soon. I think it's a 3-month course or so, and then I'll have it in no time.
Wow. I think that's a great idea.
Thanks.
So, what's your normal 9 to 5 without the big tire, without the coronavirus? What job do you usually work?
So I was working at a TJ Maxx distribution center. I'm
Okay.
not sure if you heard. It's a retail store, but I work in like
Right.
the factory portion of it where everything comes in, we ticket it or what have you, and send it to the stores. That was a job that was feeding the Keep Rolling campaign. So one of the things I was going to do was get merchandise, and I was able to, pay the director and all these good things I was planning to purchase to move the brand forward.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, we're on shutdown,
Right.
but still employed there. So
Oh, good.
once, yeah, just shut down in the meantime. So once we go back to work, my plans will just go right back into place, and I'll get that merchandise. I'm not expecting to make money off merchandise. It's just a part of marketing,
Mm-hmm.
getting the brand out there.
For sure. Um, so when can people find out when that merchandise is available? How can they connect with you to know about it as soon as possible?
Absolutely. So I'm on all social media outlets. I'm currently working on a website as we speak. That's one of the ways I'm occupying my free time.
Oh, good.
Is coordinating with a website, a web designer, what the image I'm going for. But in the meantime, your listeners can connect with me on Twitter or Instagram, DeAndre D. Wilson, or Facebook, DeAndre Wilson, LinkedIn, DeAndre Wilson, or YouTube, Keep Rolling campaign. And the cool thing is the default picture is the tractor tire. It's either the
Yes.
tractor tire or me standing next to the tractor tire. So I'm pretty sure I'll stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they can connect in the meantime. Just keep up with what I'm doing.
Right. Speaking of your Twitter, this is just something I was interested in. The banner looks like a picture from a Kanye West concert.
It is. It was my
Did
very
you take
first
that?
concert I went to. I did.
Awesome. What was it like? I'm a fan of him, so
Um, it was in Indianapolis, Indiana, so 3 hours from where I live. It was epic. We got it. We got a yay. He hit the yay button. We got to hear a rant. We got one of those.
oh.
I needed one of those. Um, he was performing on that floating platform.
Yeah.
So it was no matter where your seat was, it felt like you had like a good visual. Like no
Hmm.
matter, even the people that were on the floor, because there were no seats on the floor, it was all standing, and you had to look up. You could see through it, through the platform. So
Oh,
I
cool.
mean, yeah. So no matter where you were at, you could see him very well. Even I was I want to say I was maybe the 11th row in, and the platform kind of went over the crowd. It got
Hmm.
barely close. So I mean, it was just the production was nice. As you saw, the lighting was nice.
Right.
He had the beat maker next to him on the platform. So he made, so during his yay, he hit the yay button on us, and during that he made why is it drawn? Why my mind went blank?
And what is the yay
What's
button
the
exactly?
what? That's when you get your rant.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when your Kanye rant. I can't believe I just forgot the song. The song with him and Pusha T off My Dark and Twisted
Oh,
Fantasy.
Runaway.
Yes, he
Yeah,
made the beat to Runaway.
right
Why did I
there.
forget that? Right there in front of us,
Oh, cool.
which was dope. And then you know how like he hesitated to hit the last key, and that's when
Hmm.
the whole audience went crazy, and then he hit it again, and that's when the beat dropped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, one thing that he's really well uh, suited for is just building suspense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and he did a very good job. We got all the classics. We yelled encore, and he performed "Famous" like 4 times.
For
Uh, so that was cool.
yeah.
It was just an overall good concert. It was my first concert I've ever been to.
Wow. Pretty high bar to set.
It was. It was. I'm trying to go to a Jay-Z concert next, but he's not touring. But I'll be on the lookout.
Right. Um, so what is it like having such deep conversations with strangers? Like you meet them when you're just on the trails, and all of a sudden they're opening up to you. What is it like to create such deep connections with people on the spot?
Let me tell you right now, I was not expecting that. When I first took the tire out during the day on trails and down the street and in neighborhoods, I've connected with so many people in the community. And
Mm.
I've been told so many things, like deep, deep things that probably shouldn't be said out loud,
Mhm.
but like I'm told anyways. And one of the things I've learned is to show up, shut up, and listen. I try my absolute hardest not to judge, and I try not to like suggest things unless asked. If someone wants help, I'm like, yeah, there's resources over there and such, and they do this to try to help people. But I've kind of learned that if people just say it out loud and have someone to just listen, they'll pretty much figure it out on their own. They
Mm.
just needed some reinsurance or someone just to listen or even a hug. I hug countless people, and here I'm thinking I'm all hot and sweaty. Nope, they don't care because of what I'm doing. So, at first when people were opening up to me, Matt, I had to like I there was times where I would like break down with them. So like this is heavy. Like why
Right.
am I being told this? This is crazy. Um, and I had to like take a few days to myself to like try to process what the heck I was just told. I mean,
Mm.
you can imagine right now the things I've been told. You can fire off anything, and I'd be like, "Yep, I was told that. I've been told that. I was told
Really.
that." Like, there's nothing I haven't heard. Now, let's be realistic here. There's not like something crazy like Alien, but something like realistic to what we go through.
Right.
I've heard, and not, I just help people if they want help. If they don't, they just want someone to listen. I'll roll with the tire. I'll lay the tire down. We have a conversation. Sometimes they even help me roll it, or they roll it by themselves, and
Mm.
we have a deep conversation at the end of wherever they're going. Some people like to go down the street or around the block, which is cool, and then we'll have a deep conversation.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, I agree. It really is. It's human to human connection is important, and I'm glad that people are opening up to me. And the cool thing about this is this is my experience, my job. I'm not doing this for like a corporation, or I'm not doing this for research or for a grant. These are my intimate relationships that I will cherish forever. That
Mm.
I'm not trying to do this, but because it's happening, I'm going to continue the work. And that's kind of where my third core objective, community conversation, comes into play. Is this formed on its own? I'm just going to keep it going. Like, I've connected with homeless people, people in my community, white, black, Latino, Asian, different races of people experiencing different things that I've never experienced before. It's crazy when you live in a neighborhood and you think everyone's kind of like doing the same thing, but then when you
Yeah.
talk to people, it's like, wow, that person 6 doors down is experiencing that, and I've never experienced this, and we're just 6 doors apart.
Right.
And it's just I may write a book on that. You never know, but it's something.
Wow. Well, if you do, we're ready to read it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, let's see. What else is there? Um, what can you tell me about Turntable LLC?
Yes, Turntable. That is my first born business there. My brother and I, shout out to Jeff. We created Turntable. Now he is the head chef for Turntable. It is our catering business, and I do the business side. He does the fun side.
Hmm.
But both sides are very important.
Labor and management.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, if anyone wants to see our pictures, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we took our
Mm-hmm.
website down because we're currently not in business.
Uh,
We were scaling the company up, which is a good thing, and we need a bigger kitchen space. So we are on the hunt for a bigger kitchen space at this time. And it's a good problem to have, but it's
yeah.
also bad because we can't find the space. But Turntable is actually in this year, come July, will be 6 years old.
Oh, that's
And for
great.
the first five, yeah, thank you. For the first 3 years that we were putting Turntable together, we built a strategic business plan. We were in college. We took entrepreneurship classes. We kind of went through that entrepreneurial ecosystem, if you will, which is a good experience overall. Um, but we did a lot in that 3 years, and then in the fourth year of Turntable, we did a lot of market research. So we gave away a lot of free food to individuals in the community to figure out,
Mm.
what they expected certain foods to be, what they expected certain flavors to be. We got a lot of good research back that
Mm-hmm.
we use to this day, where we gave people just a one sheet, answer a couple questions, 1 to 5, what do you think, things like that. And we got some great research back that we were able to incorporate when we put together our official menu, which is really cool. So then after that, we went in business, and Turntable was really successful. I think it just has to do with how patient we were. But like I said, currently we're
Yes.
looking for a space to continue that work. So it's really cool owning two businesses, seeing how the impact that they did, and then seeing how I can brand them together to kind of make the work kind of one for both in a way. It's kind of hard. There's kind of two different industries where it'll be kind of hard to do that, but there is some overlay between the both of them that I'll be able to do. So that'll make the overall work pretty easy. So yeah, I mean that's the life of an entrepreneur and a creative, creating their own path, and then having multiple business, and then either you incorporate them together in some type of way, or
Mm-hmm.
you have one and you sell it, or whatever it is that whatever you plan to do.
Yeah, and I think that feedback is really important too. I think that's a really smart way to do that, and uh, I think that's great advice for people who want to start their own.
Yeah, I encourage, if there's any entrepreneurs, any of your listeners who are thinking about starting a business, market research is so valuable. I mean, large corporations do it. Jeff and I aren't a large corporation. We're LLC. We're two brothers that wanted to do this. So for roughly a whole year, we just gave free food away. Now I know not everyone can maybe financially do that, but Jeff and I were blessed to have a really good support group, and then we had two good jobs at the time. So we don't really go out, so we had that income to do that. We don't really go to bars and clubs, things like that. Um, we don't really eat out that much because heck, Jeff can just make stuff at home. He's a chef. So
Yeah, that
we
must be
had,
nice.
yeah, it was just it's really nice to be like, hey Jeff, are you cooking today? And you like, yeah, and then you go over there, whatever. But we saw a goal. We had a goal in mind. We wanted to get things done. So we did that. And like I said, we didn't give like, we didn't feel like 100 people. It was like at the most 20, 30.
Hmm.
So that's not as expensive, but I mean, it does add up. This is money we're talking about.
Right.
But we had a
I'm sure
goal in
they
mind.
appreciated it.
Yeah, they did. They kept coming back for more, and then the people
I
started to pay
bet.
attention to us. We started to see a lot of social media traffic. We started getting reviews on our food before we were actually in business on Facebook, which was good going
That
into
is,
business.
yeah, that's a really great way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So I encourage entrepreneurs out there, market research, get your product out there early to figure it out before you invest top dollar, and you're like, what the heck? Why isn't why am I not getting any business? Get that.
Hmm.
In business, you have to give away your product free for a little bit. Make that an actual stage in the process. Get it out of the way.
Hmm.
And so that's what we did.
Yeah. Um, I had a couple notes here about music because I was looking through your Twitter feed and I was seeing what kind of artists you like. Um,
Oh
so you're
yeah, easy.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, you're also a big Travis Scott fan.
Yes.
He grew up around here in Houston, and kids at my school were like all excited about Astro World. Did you get
Hmm.
to catch any of his concerts?
I did not, and I want
Oh,
to. Actually, Jeff went to a Travis Scott concert, and I couldn't make it, but I wanted to
hmm.
so bad.
Yeah. I I didn't really know what all the hype was about before it happened, but
Yeah.
afterwards, like I'd say at least half the guys in my grade had a T-shirt from the concert. So,
Yes, Travis
and it was
Scott is
like, what did
definitely.
I miss out on?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the documentary like 7 times. I don't know if you've
You
seen it.
did. I did see it. It was
Yeah.
very interestingly shot because there was no voiceovers. It was all just recordings, like
Yeah.
video of throughout the tour.
Yeah. 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 And actually, watching this documentary inspired me to do my own.
Really?
Um, yeah, just to see that, just tell your own story, like
Yeah.
get ahead of that and do it. And so that's what I really wanted to do after I've watched his like I said like 7 times. It's amazing. I'm gonna go to a Travis Scott concert at some point in my life. I need to do that.
Yeah. Hydrate for sure because they get crazy.
Absolutely. I've seen him. I'm ready for it. Also, I love Houston. I've been to San Antonio. I've been to Houston. I love both of those
Yeah.
cities. I actually kind of want to move to San Antonio in a way. So I am slightly jealous that you do live there.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes away from me actually. So it's
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. But speaking of San Antonio, have you been to La Panaderia?
Yes.
Yeah. Have
Yes,
you
I
tried
have.
the tequila infused almond bread?
Oh, I have not.
Yeah, it's so good. It was on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. Guy Fieri
I'm
reviewed
adding
it.
that to the list. Yes,
It
I'm adding
is,
that to the list.
yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm gonna when I go back once all this is lifted and we can travel.
Hmm.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to try. I'm going to try everything that I could. And like there was this ice cream shop, and oh my gosh, I forgot what it was called, but I follow them on Twitter, and their stuff looks amazing. Like they give you like a
Really?
mountain of like candy and ice cream. I was like,
Oh
oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh, I'm gonna have to definitely run about 5 miles after I eat that. But that's on my to eat list as soon as I can go back.
Yeah, they have some good restaurants there.
Oh my gosh. No matter where I walked, there was always something that smelled delicious. I was
Yeah,
on the river. Yeah,
it's tempting everywhere.
I was on the river walk, and no matter which direction, it was something amazing.
Mhm. And I'm so glad that they got rid of the gas powered boats and now they're using the electric ones because they're quiet and it just is, you don't have like the gasoline smell everywhere. They really upgraded it.
Yeah, we gotta imagine because I mean, like you're as you travel through the river, through the river there, I mean, there's people like live in those high rises, so they don't want to hear those loud boats. So I mean, that was
Yeah.
definitely smart.
Yeah, I'm sure the property value went up after that.
Absolutely. I can only imagine.
So, before we go, is there anything else that you want to make sure that you've promoted and told everyone about?
Well, I just want to leave your listeners, with even though we're going through this difficult time right now, to keep rolling. The work continues, especially in the creative and entrepreneurial world. The work continues. It just looks differently now. More virtual meetings, things of that nature. One of the things I'm doing is I'm working on my public speaking, because I understand that once everything kind of goes back to what our individual's normal standard is, I was blessed with a few speaking engagements, so hopefully those come back and increase when we go back to whatever our vision of normal is. So I've been working on my public speaking. I've been working on, creating at least a 30-minute speech. So, I encourage your listeners to thank you. So I encourage your listeners to keep going. The work looks different, but it has not stopped.
That's right. Well, thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me. And like I said, thank you for remembering me as well.
Of course. And thank you all for watching. You can find me at Matt's Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Stay safe out there.